are the three things that need to be at the forefront of your mind as a Scrum Master when preparing for a sprint retrospective? Firstly, let's look at the sprint retrospective. It is the last event of the sprint. The sprint ends when the retrospective ends. It must be in that order, right? So sprint planning, daily Scrum, delivery, sprint review, sprint retrospective. And that's the container of the sprint. The purpose of the sprint retrospective is for the Scrum team to inspect and adapt the process themselves, their interactions, how they're delivering. And so there's three things to keep in mind. It's not about you as the first one. You are a true leader that serves. It's for your team. So that means if you go into your sprint retrospective with the most awesome facilitation plan ever, and it's not working, you need to adapt. You need to bring your facilitation A game. If you have something that you wish to contribute, and it could be emotionally charged or challenging, get someone else to facilitate the retrospective. That's entirely cool. So it's not about you. The second key thing is all of Scrum only works successfully when you use the force. Focus, openness, respect, courage, and commitment. Without the Scrum values, Scrum is a brutal framework of nano-management and oppression. The Scrum values enable trust, confidence, collaboration, and the humanity of Scrum to actually grow and thrive. Remember that. You could have a whole retrospective, like how did we live the Scrum values in this sprint? Then you could put a timeline on it. How can we live it more? You can use it as an opportunity to call out how your team overcame an obstacle, a challenge, using the Scrum values. So the Scrum values are key. The third thing is you need to think about improvement. That means you need to one clear action, at least one clear action. Remember that Scrum is a framework for delivery. Now, in Australian, if you get together and just talk about stuff and highlight the bad stuff, there's a word for that. It's called whinging. Right? Now, if you're going to get together and have a whinge, that's great. It's not a retrospective. Now, if you have a whinge and then figure out what you're going to do to stop it recurring, that then turns it from a whinging session into a powerful movement for continuous development. Change is hard. So don't go after the biggest thing. Go after one thing you can change. Change builds momentum. So no matter whether it's individual or team-based, we need to think about breaking the stasis so that we move forward. What's the smallest, easiest thing that your team can do to be a little bit better next sprint? That's the retro. So when it comes back to it, remember, it's not about you. Use the values, focus on the change.